Arsenal ready to make a late move for Joao Cancelo. Yes, people, and it is deadline day, the final day of the transfer window. All business needs to be wrapped up today, or at least incomings regarding Premier League clubs. As always, if you love keeping up to date with Arsenal transfer season and you have appreciated it this whole transfer window, make sure you subscribe down below. My road to 5,000 subscribers. I'll be keeping up the Arsenal related videos throughout the rest of the season, including match reactions after every single Arsenal match. And please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section regarding Arsenal's interest in Joao Cancelo. Let's get straight into the tweet brought today by Transfer News Live, and it states this. Breaking, Arsenal are in contact with representatives of Joao Cancelo. The Gunners would like to sign the Portuguese fullback on loan until the end of this season, and the source is H. Rachoff, who is like a journalist within the X/Twitter media space. And guys, to be honest, right, we need to bring in a fullback, man. We have to. Because this is the point of the situation what we've got to. I kept saying for the past 3 weeks, we've got 3 weeks, let's not panic. We've got 3 weeks, let's not panic. Continue to ship out players and then try and bring some people in. I was hearing that Arsenal were targeting a wide right forward. I was hearing that Arsenal were targeting potentially a box-box midfielder. And after Julian Timber's injury and Arsenal letting go of Tierney and Nuno Tavares, I was hearing Arsenal targeting a left back. We've brought in no one in so far. In those 3 weeks since signing David Raya, no one has been brought in. And now we've got to deadline day. We've got to the point where all transfer business needs to be wrapped up today. And there's only about, what, 8 hours left as I'm recording this video. So Arsenal need to get a move on. That's the way I look at it. So, look, Joao Cancelo, obviously we know of his quality. We know that coming from Man City, it's going to be a hard deal to pull off. Especially given that Man City have been scarred from letting go of Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, two of their fringe players, to Arsenal last season, and Arsenal almost gone on to pick them to the Premier League title. And now we know Joao Cancelo is a better player than those two. Joao Cancelo 2 seasons ago was one of Man City's highlight players at fullback. He was so good, man. He was basically slotted into midfield and being such an impactful player with his little crosses into the box. Unbelievable. Obviously, he fell out with Pep Guardiola, and we know what Pep Guardiola's like. He's got a bit of an ego about him. Rightfully so, to be fair. Like, he deserves to have that arrogance given the things he's achieved at Man City Football Club and throughout his whole career, if you count Bayern Munich and Barcelona. And he just basically said, all right, jog on then, mate. He shipped out Joao Cancelo in January to Bayern Munich. Was it summer or January? I think it was January. It was one of the craziest moves. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. He just shipped out Cancelo. It came out completely left field. Either way, Cancelo went off to Bayern Munich. Obviously, didn't have the greatest time there. And Bayern Munich did not want to go in for a new deal. Now comes to a point where Cancelo is stuck at Man City. He's not going to get minutes. That's going to be the case because they didn't need him last season. They won the treble without him, basically. So he wants to move on to play football, as he deserves. He probably deserves to play football. He's a player of really good quality. He should not be riding the bench. Now Arsenal are extending an olive branch out to Cancelo and say, look, we want to bring you to the Emirates. We want to give you some games here. You're going to be at another Premier League club, of course, but you'll be in a team that's in the Champions League, Premier League, fighting for titles. Would you like to come over? Now, the thing is, we don't want to have a permanent deal. The reason we don't have a permanent deal is because, as I said, Cancelo's a good player. So it's going to be very expensive to pull this one off. So it's going to have to be a loan deal. And I like the idea of a loan deal, especially at this stage if it is for Cancelo. Because when Timber's back, if Cancelo's a menace, for example, he doesn't really fit into the Arsenal system, we can just bin him off again. So I have no problem with offering a loan deal for Cancelo. I just don't know whether Man City can accept it. Because if I was Man City, I would not accept it from Arsenal. Why would you? It's not money, A. It's a loan deal. It's a good player that's going to go to one of your direct rivals. If Man City give us Cancelo, that's actually a bit of a violation to us because that means they don't rate us to try and challenge them for the league title. Because I would not give Man United one of our reserve players. No way, man. Even if it like because Cancelo's a decent player, right? I would not give Man United, for example, who would I think of in the Arsenal squad that I wouldn't give Man United? Let's say a Jorginho. I wouldn't give Man United Jorginho. Jorginho obviously doesn't start games for Arsenal, but I wouldn't want him going to Man United because he could actually have an impact there. You never know. Equally, for example, another backup player at Arsenal Football Club. Do you get what I mean? I wouldn't have given Man United Kieran Tierney, even though he wasn't starting for us last season. Do you get what I mean? So, if Man City give us Joao Cancelo, that is literally them telling us, you know what, Arsenal, take him, man. We don't think he's going to help you guys win the title. So, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth. Regardless, we can try as much as we want. I'm a bit worried that we've left it too late. Because as I always say, right, you want to get your business done early. And fair play, because we got Timber, Kai Havertz, Declan Rice over the line early. We obviously, of course, got David Raya in the door as well 3 weeks ago. So everything's looking good in that front. But let's be completely honest about it, right? We still did need a fullback, especially since Timber was injured. Timber got injured against Nottingham Forest, and we were aware of his ACL for the past 2.5/3 weeks now. And that has been no activity on that front. I understand you need to sell players. I understand that. But even that took a long time. Players look like they're leaving the door now. We of course know Tavares is left. Lokonga could be going. Rob Holding as well could be on his way out. So players are starting to leave. Balogun as well. We raised 34 to 35 million pounds for him, plus a sell-on clause inserted. I'm not mad at that whatsoever. So the money's starting to come in now. We're getting the cash flow. But how are we going to spend it? Because when it gets to deadline day, prices shoot up because clubs have not got an adequate replacement in mind. Look at Joao Paulinho at Fulham. Joao Paulinho is a brilliant footballer for Fulham. So good. He basically got the equaliser against us on the weekend. Bayern Munich want to sign Paulinho, and Fulham have said, look, I understand that and we're willing to let him go, but we haven't got a replacement because there's only 8 hours left. That is a problem. The player wants to go. The club's basically saying, okay, but Fulham just haven't got a replacement yet to bring in. And we know the replacement's going to cost an awful lot of money because they know that Fulham are only trying to bring in a replacement to get rid of Joao Paulinho, who will cost Bayern Munich a lot of money. Do you get what I mean? So all the techie details, there's all these chain reactions, knock-on effects that happen on deadline day, and the price just keeps going up and up and up. So if it's Arsenal Football Club, we're left in a bit of a sticky situation where we need to bring in some players. I would have loved to sign 2 players. An attacking forward player, especially specifically on the right-hand side, to back up Bukayo Saka. Although now it seems as though Nicolas Pepe is staying, so he will be the Saka backup alongside Reece Nelson. And I'd also like to bring in another defender because we've let go of Tierney, we've let go of Tavares. Obviously, Timber's out for the whole season. He posted an Instagram story of him on crutches yesterday, so he ain't coming back anytime soon. I'll tell you that for free. So we're down 3 defenders. If Holding goes as well, we're down 4 defenders. We've got a very thin back line, and you saw what happened when Saliba got injured last season. It all went to pot. So I'd love to bring in a potential fullback for us. It's got a bit late in the window, but there are options available. Trust me, there always is. And if we get Cancelo over the line, I'd be delighted with that. Because I know he's a quality player, especially if we can get him on loan. Although I do have to say at this stage, it is looking fairly unlikely. But other options are available. Let's not fret. Let's not get too distraught right now. The options are there. It's all about whether Arsenal want to pull off and secure something. But for the meantime, and in between time, they need to get a move on. Start picking up the phones. Don't just think Cancelo at 1. Start calling other players as well. There's regards to centre-back I'm hearing Arsenal could be interesting. Why not make a move for him? There's other centre-backs about. Trust me, there is, man. There's thousands of centre-backs available that play football, right? So there are players about, centre-backs, full-backs, etc. I don't mind who you get, but bringing someone competent to fill in, because if we don't sign a defender, I believe between now and transfer window wrapping up, that could be a grave mistake. Could be a very grave mistake. Because look at us last season, right? We tried to get Douglas Luiz last second. Didn't quite come off. And then look, obviously it didn't really cost us. But it could. And it's happened in seasons before. Because the transfer window is the one time you have to basically change anything that you need to within the squad. Because once that transfer window slams shut at midnight tonight, it's game over, man. It's game over. There's no more players you can bring in. You get a career-ending injury to Bukayo Saka. God forbid, knock wood, that doesn't happen. You get an ACL injury to Bukayo Saka. We're stuffed. That's Saka out. We can't even replace him. So now is the time to bring in adequate replacements. I do think Arsenal have done well this transfer window. I do think net we've strengthened. But in the 2 weeks that were left, since Timber getting his injury, since signing David Raya, since hearing Arsenal are targeting other players, we've not made any business. And that for me is a bit worrying. We've got about 8 to 12 hours to change it with what's left this transfer window. Hopefully we do, because I want to see us bring in at least one more player. That's my aim. As always, make sure you keep up to date with Arsenal transfer news vids on this channel. Make sure you subscribe down below. I'll be keeping you guys up to date with any transfer stories I hear from now until deadline day. Also, make sure you drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'd love to hear it. Who would you like to see Arsenal sign? Do you want to see us go for Cancelo, or do you rather see us go for someone else? I appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Take care.